Donald Trump has already been censored for comments he's made about mail-in voting. Now, Trump has said there will be a lot of fraud, and the people who don't like Trump, be it media, social media, big tech, whatever, have pounced on this. And they're using a clever manipulation technique. Earlier today, I was greeted on Instagram by this message. Facts about voting. Both voting in person and voting by mail have a long history of trustworthiness in the U.S., and the same is expected this year. Voter fraud is extremely rare across voting methods. You see, this is a manipulative statement that uses a kind of assumptive logic. They want you to make an assumption, and so they're using a clever word trick. Let me explain. They say voting in person and by mail have a history of trustworthiness. They then say fraud is rare. The first sentence has nothing to do with the second. Whether or not I trust the election system or the election system to handle my vote has nothing to do with whether or not someone would defraud me or commit election fraud. Do I trust that my ballot will get to the post office on time? No. Do I trust that my ballot is safe with no chain of custody? No. Does that mean I'm worried about voter fraud? I'm not particularly worried about voter fraud for my vote, though I do think there is a concern of greater increase of fraud. You see how they do this? The reality is that there are very serious reasons to be worried. From Fox 5, San Diego, thief grabs mail ballots from North County neighborhood. A mail thief moving through the North County neighborhood snatched up ballots, along with other contents of mailboxes lining the street, leaving residents concerned ahead of Election Day. Well, their ballots are gone. Congratulations. No vote for you, because by the time you get your ballot now, it may be too late. Okay, hold on. Maybe they have a little bit less than a month. Maybe they can finally get through to one of these automated systems or whoever and get a new ballot, a replacement. Okay, well then what about the risk of someone requesting extra ballots and then voting more than once? What about the risk of a week before Election Day, a thief steals your mail? I do not trust that, and it's not even fraud. This thief apparently just dumped the mail down the street, probably looking for cash. But now you lose your vote because of it? Talk about no election security. Here's a good one. U.S. postal worker in New Jersey arrested, accused of dumping mail and election ballots. Do I trust that the postal workers have my best intentions? No. It's just a broken chain of custody. How about this one? About 50,000 Ohio voters receive wrong absentee ballots. Oopsie. You know what? It's all on the Democrats, man. I'm sorry. I got to say it. It's all on the Democrats. You know why? They're the ones more likely to vote by mail, not Republicans. So when mail thieves steal their ballots, when their ballots get rejected, or when their ballots come in wrong, it's going to negatively impact Democrats. This is going to give Trump the popular vote. Seriously, so many people are going to be disqualified. Now, they'll probably claim, like, look at all the people who were disqualified. Oh, it's a huge percentage. And they'll all cry and complain. Take a look at this, though. I posted on Instagram a screenshot of what Instagram told me. I accompanied it with a screenshot of the Hill story. About 50,000 Ohio voters receive wrong absentee ballots. And I said, Instagram is so full of S. They actually attached a link to my photo saying, for official resources and updates about the 2020 U.S. election, visit the Voting Information Center. Imagine, if you will, a world in which you, trying to make a phone call to your friend to tell them about voting, your phone doesn't work. And you're like, that's weird. I can't call my friend. Well, you get a notification from the phone company saying, we're very concerned about you calling people and sharing misinformation, so we've disconnected your number. Imagine they say, we're not going to allow you to make any phone calls for this week. You are not allowed to share information because you might get it wrong. It's literally what they're doing. Twitter will add labels to tweets sent by U.S. politicians who try to spread election misinformation and will prevent them from being retweeted. Wow. That is a bold, bold move. These companies are straight up saying that they are not neutral arbiters. They are not carriers. They are not platforms. They're news outlets. They're publishers. Let me explain to you the simple difference, because most of you probably know this, but for those that don't, your phone is a carrier. It's essentially a platform. Kind of. If I want to call someone, I can say whatever I want. I can call my mom right now and say, did you know that Bigfoot is real? And she'll be like, what? I could say the moon is made of cheese and Hillary Clinton is a lizard. Woo. I can say whatever I want. And nobody's going to shut me down. But if I go on Twitter and say certain things, they'll ban me. They'll shut me down. Case in point, what Instagram is doing. I have real stories. I have actual stories from high profile outlets, from certifiable, trustworthy news outlets, telling us straight up there's going to be serious problems with mail-in voting. I've been covering it for quite some time. I'm doing this video to tell you I will likely be banned following November 3rd. So if you would, please consider subscribing to this channel, liking and sharing this video so people can see what's happening. I'm about to break 1 million subs on this channel. That's crazy. You guys are awesome. But so yeah, please subscribe. But and I'll probably get banned. Also, my podcast is available on iTunes and Spotify. The Tim Pool Daily Show. You can check it out. Subscribe there in the event I do get banned, because I've already been warned that YouTube will not tolerate people challenging election results or pointing to these stories. Now, I've had a bunch of people, they say this to me all the time. Tim, you're not going to get banned. You're too much of a milquetoast fence sitter, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me show you what's already happening. My posts are getting flagged on Instagram. For more information, go here, go here. That's just kind of generic, kind of neutral. But they're lying, okay? If I say that YouTube is lying to you, do you think YouTube is going to let me stay on their platform? Well, YouTube hasn't said anything so far. Instagram is lying. Instagram is using manipulative language to make you think that the only issue is fraud. I'm really stoked to see the Barracks, the famous skate channel, saying, I love that the 20-year-olds at Instagram are now the gatekeepers as to what is right and wrong, fact or lie, good or bad. Facepalm. Yep, Barracks are cool. Listen, here's a story from Fox 5. A thief has stolen mail-in ballots. Is your universal mail-in ballot safe? It's not. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scare anybody. What am I supposed to say? This guy stole some people's ballots. In Brooklyn, about 100,000 people got incorrect information on their ballots, potentially disqualifying them if they tried to use it. They had to send them back and redo it. 50,000 in Ohio. Ohio's a swing state, man. A very important one. But I tell you what, Republicans are voting in person, dude. So this is going to negatively impact Democrats. This might guarantee that these states swing Republican. I jokingly stated on Twitter, I think they flagged me for this, that Republicans should cheer on the Democrats. Seriously, why? Why not? Tell the Democrats, yes, absolutely, by all means, mail-in voting, you guys are awesome. Republicans, however, y'all better go vote in person. Why? Well, everybody gets what they want. The Democrats get their mail-in voting. Republicans get to vote in person. And then Democrats get rejected at the ballot box. Win-win for Republicans, right? A ton of votes are being rejected. A ton of votes are wrong. And we knew this in the primary because the primary was our trial run. The Democratic primary saw, I think, nearly 1 million ballots questioned and face disqualification. 100,000 in California, 68,000 held up in Baltimore. I don't know what else to tell you, Democrats. This is what you wanted. They say, The Hill says, the Franklin County Board of Elections said in a statement on Friday that 49,669 voters received inaccurate ballots out of the 237,498 that were sent through the U.S. Postal Service. The board said Friday that it has already begun the process of printing replacement ballots, which will be sent to the Postal Service within 72 hours. How did they know? How did they know they were wrong? Did all these people start sending out notices, like calling them up, complaining? And if that's true, what if there are people who, didn't catch it and their ballot's sitting in their house and they weren't paying attention? They filled it out, sent it in, and now it's not going to be worth anything. I want to show you this tweet here. John Cooper says, Jarrett Stepman tweets that California is going to improperly send him a ballot, even though he doesn't live there. California governor attacks Jarrett on Twitter, says he's wrong. Jarrett receives improper ballot a month later. I love it. Jarrett tweeted, and here's my ballot right on schedule. I haven't lived in CA in a decade and notified the state I no longer live there. I could have voted twice. It would be nice if the governor was a little more concerned with the state's electoral security, but I guess that's too much to ask. Gavin Newsom saying, it's false. We didn't send out any ballots to this guy because he claimed he got it early. They said it didn't happen. Look, man, Trump is going to tweet out something November 3rd, and they're going to shut him down and stop the tweet from being shared. People will then screenshot the tweet and start sharing it anyway. They're going to then start flagging those tweets and they're going to start locking down accounts, and it will be a cascade effect. I'm curious to see if I survive. I'll tell you this. After November 3rd, if the news breaks of impropriety, I am going to cover it. I am going to call out the Democrats. Now, some people think that YouTube won't ban me because I only ever use citations and sources, and that's on purpose for exactly this reason. If I have news outlets like Fox 5 saying a thief is stealing ballots, ban me. Okay? Because I'm only repeating what the news is saying and giving my opinions. You need to vote. You need to vote in person. I don't care who you're voting for. You need to vote in person. You can take the mail-in ballot, but you need to drop it off yourself if you do. The problem with that logic is that even if you plan on using your mail-in ballot, what if it doesn't show up, or what if someone steals it? Whatever, man. The game's rigged. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes, and I'll see you all shortly.